This is Dina, welcome to the Den. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably already know that I'm not a fan of the Silent Hill movie. Despite the fact that it's very pretty, it basically has fuck all to do with Silent Hill, and in my opinion, it's not that good overall. Sure, it takes place in the town, but hardly any of the characters from the games are even in it, and most of the ones who are have been changed so much they're practically unrecognizable. But the argument that apologists tend to come at me with is this. Well, hey, it may not be a great movie, but it's a best video game adaptation, right? And my response is always, no, it really isn't. Mortal Kombat is much more accurate to its source material, and, at least in my opinion, it's a better movie, but I'll get more into that later. Speaking of the source material, let's talk about that for a minute. Mortal Kombat was a fighting game made mostly by a team of 4 developers, John Tobias, Ed Boon,
Get over here!
Dan Forden, and John Vogel. It was released in 1992 as direct competition for Street Fighter II. Both of them helped to kick off the fighting game craze, but 2 things set Mortal Kombat apart from Street Fighter II. One was that real actors were filmed in costume doing martial arts moves and digitized into the game, which gave it a really unique, semi-realistic look. The other was, of course, the gore, which set off a lot of controversy about violence in video games, and Mortal Kombat, along with Night Trap, the Sega CD FMV game, resulted in the creation of the ESRB rating system. It was also the first game to utilize the idea of a finishing move. Rather than having one fighter become dizzy during the match, allowing for a free hit from the opponent, which Ed Boon was not a fan of, the fight would end with the fighter becoming dazed, leaving them open for a finishing move by the opponent called a fatality.
Fatality.
And if you don't know anything else about Mortal Kombat, you probably know about the fatalities and all the blood.
Raiden wins.
I am kind of limiting this segment to the first 3 games, since that's the part of the series I'm most familiar with. I am one of those people who did get into Mortal Kombat along with other fighting games during the fighting game craze, but at some point I had to accept the fact that I suck at them, and I lost interest. I also wasn't too big a fan of Mortal Kombat 3, mainly because it took 2 of my favorite characters, totally did away with one, and changed the character design of the other in a way that didn't make sense to me. Also, after 3 was when they stopped using digitized actors and switched to 3D models. Which I totally get. I'm sure it's easier to do and gives the developers more freedom. And I'm not gonna lie, Mortal Kombat X, or 10, whichever they're calling it, does look really good. But I just really like the look of the first 3 games, and it just kind of feels like a different series to me now. To each their own, though. But anyway, in 1995, at the height of Mortal Kombat's popularity and around the time that Mortal Kombat 3 came out, the movie was made. And I feel the need to address something and get it out of the way. I know the games were well known for being extremely gory, and some people were mad that the movie is rated PG and is pretty light on that kind of material. I'm just going to be really blunt and say that no way were you ever going to get a movie that had this level of gore. The only movies that have this level of gore are grindhouse horror flicks, and something like that was not going to make a lot of money. Let's be honest, while we all know that Mortal Kombat was rated M on the home systems and it's meant for adults, a good chunk of people who were playing Mortal Kombat at the time were kids, whether their parents were aware of it or not. It's just good business sense to make this movie accessible to everyone who was playing the games at the time. Besides, I would like to believe that Mortal Kombat fans realize that while it may be the main selling point of these games, there is more to Mortal Kombat than blood and gore. What's kept this series going for so long is that it's got solid gameplay and interesting characters, plus it's got that whole pseudo-Chinese mythology angle, and over the years it's kind of created its own mythology. The games would have been great even without the gore. But anyway, get ready for the best opening to any movie ever.
Mortal Kombat!
That is never not going to give me chills. Fun fact that some people may not remember, this song was not actually made for the movie. It was part of Mortal Kombat the album, which was recorded by a band called The Immortals, that was made to generate hype for the console versions of the game, using sound bites from the game and this bit from the Mortal Monday advertising campaign. On the single, I seem to recall that there were 4 different mixes of the song, and this one happened to be my favorite, so I was pretty jazzed that it ended up in the movie. The movie opens with a guy who is barely more than a kid facing off against who we will later discover is Shang Tsung. and it doesn't end well for him. I think after the movie I'll talk about each of the characters and how they compare and contrast to their video game counterparts.
Your brother's soul is mine.
But for now, I'll just point out that I love Shang Tsung in this movie.
You will be next.
The scenery must be tasty because he chews on it a lot. So that turns out to be a dream that Liu Kang was having. However, his brother is dead for real.
Let's go!
Meanwhile, Special Forces agents Sonya Blade and Jax, yeah, Jax from Mortal Kombat 2 has a small part in this, they're going after Kano,
Right on time.
who it turns out is working with Shang Tsung, and they both got their eye on Sonya.
Maybe me and Sonya should share a cabin. Have our own little honeymoon cruise.
Ew, you creepers. That's right, you don't fuck with Sonya. Elsewhere...
This is where you fall down.
That's actually actor Johnny Cage filming a movie. The director looks a lot like Steven Spielberg, considering this is apparently some kind of action flick.
I'm going to my trailer, I'm gonna get a gun, and I'm gonna shoot myself for being in your movie!
Hi, Johnny.
Master Boyd.
Johnny is legitimately a great martial artist, but due to his being an actor, he isn't taken seriously.
And I can help you prove it. The tournament is held once a generation. You win the tournament, you win their respect.
Yeah, he conveniently doesn't mention what happens if you lose. As Johnny's master is leaving, he's revealed to be Shang Tsung, who is a shapeshifter, if you forgot. Back to Liu Kang, he goes home to his temple and... Can I just take a moment to point out that this movie is actually beautifully shot? I love that. They didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway.
It wasn't enough you filled my head with that nonsense.
To save the world is not nonsense.
Men fighting in a simple contest don't decide these things, grandfather.
Basically, Liu was meant to fight in the tournament and refused, but he's changed his mind now that he wants to avenge his brother's death.
The great tournament was too much responsibility. But vengeance... that's so much simpler.
The demigod Raiden makes an appearance, but Liu doesn't believe that it's him.
So you're going to win the tournament. Show me how.
I wonder if he still thinks it isn't Raiden.
I'm going to find my brother's killer at the tournament. With or without your consent.
Back to Johnny Cage.
You want me to carry your luggage?
Yeah, I pay money, you carry the bags. Or is that too complicated?
No.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. I have a new respect for Liu Kang, though.
Oh, thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
Shh. Really, just the general look of this movie is pretty slick. A little surprised that dragon doesn't look more like the one in the logo, though. So Liu and Johnny have gotten on the boat, and now Sonya does as well as she chases Kano. So Sonya runs into Shang Tsung and... Oh, hello, my two favorite characters.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Move aside.
And they are so badass! Johnny looks worried. Seems like this is foreshadowing their fight later. And Raiden makes one hell of an entrance.
Enough!
He does not appreciate Shang Tsung trying to off Earth's chosen representatives in the tournament before the tournament even begins.
You really are, Raiden.
You really didn't pick up on that before.
Come with me. You have been chosen to defend the realm of Earth in a tournament called Mortal Kombat.
Defended from who?
Raiden explains the Outworld realm and how if Emperor Shao Kahn wins the tournament 10 times in a row, he will be able to invade and conquer the Earth realm. Not sure how that works. I even glanced over the info for the game and I still don't get it. I'm probably missing something. In any case...
They have one line. The essence of Mortal Kombat is not about death,
Ironic.
but life. One of you three will decide the outcome of the tournament. The fate of billions will depend upon you.
Raiden does some scenery chewing as well.
Sorry.
It has begun!
So they arrive at their destination, wherever that is. Really, Johnny? I have a hard time believing he thought there would be any other outcome. By the way, if you haven't figured it out by now, Johnny Cage is pretty much the comedy relief of this movie. While it can be kind of forced and it's not hilarious or anything, I think it's cute. It at least gets a smile out of me, if not a laugh per se. And he finally gives up on the luggage. I'm surprised he carried it for that long. Katana is also in this. This movie does a good job of including just a couple characters who originally didn't show up until Mortal Kombat 2, and they don't feel shoehorned in or anything.
Watch her carefully, Reptile.
An interesting portrayal of Reptile, and yes, I can see that that's pretty bad CG. For what it's worth, it didn't look bad to me when I originally saw the movie. At a banquet later, I never get tired of seeing Sub-Zero and Scorpion looking badass. They almost don't even have to do anything.
And now for a taste of things to come.
Dude, they were gonna eat that. Gee, which one do you think is the jobber in this match?
Clear!
Oh my god, is Subby doing what I think he's gonna do? He did. He pulled an Indiana Jones.
Flawless victory.
You'd think that would have counted as a fatality.
Come to a little tournament, he said. Be good for the career, he said. Yeah, right.
So Sonya goes after Shang Tsung and Johnny and Liu follow.
I can take care of myself.
We can't help it. It's a guy thing.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm following him.
I work alone.
No, Shang Tsung is mine.
Dirt pirate /
The Earth is definitely doomed.
So then he freezes this guy, right? And then he explodes. I could see his guts and everything.
Stay classy, Kano.
Almost lost my lunch.
Apparently he doesn't think too highly of Shang Tsung.
A treasure of these moments.
And we finally get our first look at Goro.
Those who challenge his power become his slave. He enslaves souls.
You're some kind of royalty too, right?
I am Goro, General of the armies of Outworld.
You may be wondering why they're even keeping Kano around. Well, it turns out that he's a crime boss in the Earth realm, and apparently he has a lot of pull. There's some talk about Liu Kang being the chosen one because he's descended from Kung Lao, a former Mortal Kombat champion who was defeated by Goro 500 years ago. Well, they don't actually say all of that, but I'm just helping you follow the story by referencing the games.
Let's get out of here.
Liu, Johnny, and Sonya try to sneak out, but they're heard leaving and Shang Tsung has them followed.
Look.
Liu is led away by Katana. It's unclear at this point if she's trying to help or not, but he believes that she is. Look out, it's the Predator! Nah, it's just Reptile.
Katana went this way. I can smell her perfume.
Johnny and Sonya catch up with him and they end up back in the banquet room.
I smell something.
Bullshit.
We got company.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that maybe an epic fight scene is about to happen, but don't hold me to that. Hey, I was right. So they show how badass they are and...
Now, what is it with you guys? We're standing, they're not. What more do you want?
And Raiden reveals his presence with a golf clap.
Brilliant. So why don't you show me what you plan to do about them? I don't think so.
You know what? I find Raiden kind of adorable in this movie. This is not a character that I would think could be adorable, but Christopher Lambert is just that good, apparently. I love that in the end, Shang Tsung's lackeys are more afraid of Raiden. Johnny Cage, not so much.
You guys are lucky he stopped us.
Tomorrow the tournament begins. Be prepared.
Let Mortal Kombat begin!
The next day, the tournament officially begins and Liu Kang faces off against an unnamed fighter. There's something kind of interesting in regards to this actor and his connection to Mortal Kombat. His name is Hakeem Alston, by the way. Not only was he one of the people who played Jax in the Mortal Kombat live tour, he was also in a show called WMAC Masters, which had choreographed martial arts in a fantasy-type setting with a story and mainly aimed at kids. It was a little like pro wrestling meets Power Rangers. But anyway, he was in it alongside Ho Sung Pak, who any Mortal Kombat fan would recognize as Liu Kang from the first 2 Mortal Kombat games. So you can almost say that he's faced off against Liu Kang more than once. So I guess that's what helped him end up in the movie. I don't know why Ho Sung Pak isn't in it, considering he's an actor. Could be that he isn't a very good actor. I haven't seen him in much other than Mortal Kombat games, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, I love the look of this guy. He's like a panther. And sounds like one. I guess he must be an Outworld contestant, which makes sense. He is a badass, and he puts up a good fight. But, of course, he loses.
Your soul is mine.
Can we please make that a meme, expression and all? You can even change it up to fit whatever the situation is.
Your soul is mine. Your ball is mine. Your brother's soul is mine.
Chip!
You will be next.
No!
It's a start. And that looks unpleasant. Bye, Hakeem.
Fatality.
Sonya's match is about to begin, and he so wants to hit that. Ew.
Sonya Blade, I have something you want very much.
I call it Little Shang.
You can thank me later.
Sorry. Speaking of creepers.
Hello, baby. Did you miss me? This little baby brings back memories now, doesn't it?
Turns out that Kano had killed Sonya's partner at some point, and that's the real reason she wanted him dead.
Smile on your partner, though. Ear. To ear.
Damn, Sonya's a badass. That move looks a bit familiar.
Right, finish it. No, Sonya. Oh, give me a break.
Okay.
Nah, leave the puns for Johnny Cage. There was a novelization to this movie that I have not read, but apparently Sonya refuses to kill Kano in it because she doesn't want to take any orders from Shang Tsung. I kind of prefer that, actually. She comes across as a stronger character that way. Elsewhere, I'm not sure exactly where Johnny was supposed to be going, but he's in a forest. But not alone.
Get over here!
And yes, that is Ed Boon doing Scorpion's voice.
Get over here!
Damn, it's like his harpoon has heat-seeking capabilities now.
Come here!
I wonder if he can regenerate that spearhead. Otherwise, I'd have to wonder how this was the first time anyone was able to dodge it. Scorpion has really heavy eyebrows. And Scorpion does his teleport move, taking his opponent with him. Pretty cool, but it wouldn't be too useful in the games.
Welcome!
Okay, I may be a bit biased because Scorpion, but this is possibly the best fight scene in the movie. I love the location, and occasionally they switch to this lateral view which mimics the feel of a 2D fighter really well. God damn, you do not fuck with Scorpion! Not a good idea to fuck with Johnny Cage either. Oh god, I'm having Lost World Jurassic Park flashbacks. At least he doesn't kill Scorpion here, that'd be lame.
Get down here!
Any excuse to hear Scorpion talk is a good one. Almost. And the true face of Scorpion is revealed. Shit's about to get real now. There's that lateral view again. See what I mean? It just needs text on the screen.
Fatality.
Ooh, Scorpion kinda got a taste of his own medicine there. Aw, bye Scorpy. See you next Oh. And a nice show of friendship by Johnny Cage. See what I did there? Well, I'm about at the halfway point, so I better end part 1 here. If you haven't seen the Mortal Kombat movie yet, go watch it, and then get over here for part 2. Or else, your soul is mine.